Hello. Hey everyone. This is Packer
What's
Viewing.
up?
I am joined by my good friend Top Shot Fund. How you doing,
What's
buddy?
up, everybody? Doing well, man. How's you? How about you?
Just a quiet day on the internet in the metaverse. Nothing too exciting going on.
Do you watch any Little League World Series today?
No, I didn't even know that was happening.
Oh man, this one kid from South Dakota is the star of the show. It's pretty fun.
I find myself increasingly detached from anything that doesn't have an NFT with it. So,
I know. I was thinking the Little League World Series needs to get some NFTs going.
if there was a Little League World Series NFT, that would have been on the background in my home office. I would have been watching it all day. But I genuinely had no idea. It's funny, like, I used to do and read so many things before I discovered NFTs, and now, whether it's because I founded a media company or because Top Shot is awesome and there's so many exciting things happening, or because I'm half doing my job while spending all my time on Twitter, I find myself pretty much thinking about NFTs all day, and for better or for worse.
I know. It was a break in the day for me to switch to some Little League Baseball today. I think it's for better, though.
It's definitely for better. Sometimes it could be for worse, but I think that we are definitely in a for better NFT wave right now, whether it be Top Shot or the flavor of the week on OpenSea or some blue chip projects. There is a lot of exciting stuff going on. Tonight, we are going to focus our chat on NBA Top Shot, and I can't believe I'm saying these words, WNBA Top Shot, which is very, very exciting. Top Shot Fund and I are going to do a little recap of current events, and then we're going to open it up to Q&A, just invite people to join the party, ask questions, make comments, whatever you want, so don't be shy. Top Shot Fund, how you feeling, man? It's been a busy week since we last spoke.
I know. I feel good, though. The WNBA news is pretty exciting. I completed 2 team sets since we last talked, so I'm a fellow Knicks team set holder with you.
Congratulations.
And, couldn't be more proud of that.
If we get to, actually go to a Knicks game at Madison Square Garden together through Top Shot, that would be pretty epic. You'd have to bring the hat for me to wear, I think. It would only be right.
I know. Dirty little secret is you can get one at Party City for $5.
Yeah, but you spray painted it and you really made it your own, you really went the extra mile.
I know. I got to come out with my own version here soon enough.
So that is obviously the big news. That is, I think anytime you're doing any kind of show or form of entertainment, breaking news is always a good thing, and we happen to be chatting on the eve of the announcement of the WNBA officially joining NBA Top Shot, and I think that's something we all kind of knew was lingering. I don't think it was top of mind for anyone because we were thinking more about Rake Back and Run It Back and things that were probably a little bit more immediately on our mind, whether because of things we've heard or things that we just were waiting for. And shit, I mean, they really went all out this morning. I mean, the media coverage everywhere was talking about WNBA, ESPN, USA Today, Sports Illustrated, Boardroom. They really did a very, very great job coordinating the launch and the announcement. I think that whether intentional or not, when we saw Aja Wilson in the kind of filter as a player last night, and then the WNBA tweeted something maybe a little bit before that, it maybe teased that it was coming, whether or not I didn't know if it was coming today or not. I had a feeling once they kind of leaked it, NFT things happen so fast that in a traditional company, maybe you leak something and it happens a week later. NFT space, it happens 12 hours later, right? So here we are.
So I saw the headlines and I'm super excited, but for those that didn't read the details, there's a pack drop tomorrow, right? What exactly are we looking forward to here? Is it from this most recent WNBA season? Is it a Run It Back version, or what exactly is going to be in the packs? Do we know yet?
So there's a Friday pack. It's $9. It comes with 3 moments. It's open to everyone. I believe there are 75,000 packs, and at least 50,000 of them will be available on the pack drop, which leads me to believe that they'll probably do a lot of contests and giveaways and things like that.
Nice.
And I believe this set is all common moments, the best of the 2021 season. But in the blog post that they dropped, it did imply that they will have it seemed like a rare Run It Back flavor for WNBA, as well as a legendary finals WNBA pack, because we're actually in the heart of the WNBA season right now. I'm not going to pretend I'm a huge WNBA follower or fan. I know the teams, I know the players, I don't actively watch WNBA, but I mean, it's super exciting.
Totally, and we're coming off an Olympic victory for the U.S. women, right? So that happened in the middle of their season. Is that right?
Seems like it.
Yeah. No, I watched some of that, but yeah, I'm same boat as you. But it's super exciting.
Yeah, and
I like you, I had no idea it was going to be coming this quick.
And I mean, they did a really nice job on the website. I mean, like they basically, it's funny because I think maybe this week or last week, I've jokingly been like really pushing the narrative on Run It Back, and I was like, oh, they're gonna rebrand the entire website for Run It Back, and they actually did that for WNBA. So I was kind of right, but I was wrong about the theme. But it looks beautiful. I'm pumped. I think it's gonna draw in a lot of new users. I mean, I think that, let's be real. The majority of Twitter Spaces, the majority of Twitch streams, the majority of whatever show you want to watch on any given week is typically 3 or 4 white guys talking to each other. And I'm not going to say there's something wrong with that, but it would be nice to have some diversity in the conversation. And I think that the WNBA will bring in a lot of female collectors, and that's a really good thing. I also think about like Tyrese Halliburton and Cole Anthony and Josh Hart and all these NBA players that kind of found themselves very deeply invested in the NFT space through Top Shot and through the relationship they built with Dapper and with the community. And, you know, like WNBA players, frankly, just don't make as much money as NBA players. So the increased exposure for their brands, their personal brands, their teams through Top Shot and through Top Shot, the digital environment that markets it and consumes it 24/7. And then the opportunity for these women to discover NFTs and maybe buy the next Bored Ape or buy the next Cool Cat. And, you know, a WNBA player, like an ape is a fraction of their salary. I think that, like, honestly, you know, unfortunately, like the equivalent value of an ape today is probably like the entire annual salary for the best WNBA player.
Yeah. That's an interesting perspective. I was trying to think. I'm looking at the website now. That WNBA is literally right next to the NBA on pretty much every section, and I can't think of another media platform that covers the sport that even shows it nearly as prominently as Top Shot. So that's pretty forward thinking, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love how they've really positioned it side by side as equals, and that's a really powerful thing from a representation perspective. And just, you know, I can't wait to see the moments. I can't wait to see the set art. I think it's just going to be cool. And I mean, like, for so many people, they're going to discover really prominent and popular female athletes through Top Shot that they didn't know about before and maybe create some new fans. Shea Serrano obviously is a really big NBA personality. He loves the WNBA. He's constantly beating the WNBA, drum. He quote tweeted me and was like,
I saw that.
Yeah, I love
As
Shea.
a big fan of the Ringer, I bet you were happy about that.
I got quote tweeted by Darren Ravel and Shea Serrano this week, not to brag, but like I feel pretty good about that for my own personal ego, which is already
You're
just
on the up and up.
yeah, things are getting a little out of control. But it's exciting, and I think that if people like him start to join Top Shot and talk about that, you know, it's all a good thing. I think that they've really nailed the offseason, frankly, between Vegas and the marketplace improvements and just the general aura of confidence that they've instilled in the community. I mean, we've seen the buying activity from new users, from existing users, from whales. You know, things are moving, and I think it's fun. I mean, it's really. I looked at my moment ranks today, and it was put a smile on my face. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, it's been good to see the green numbers. And one last thing on the WNBA is that they got it in before beta, so it was like a core part of the product before they launched, you know, the whole thing. I thought that's interesting.
Absolutely. So one thing that I thought went really well last time we did this Top Shot Fund was inviting people listening in to chat, to ask questions, to comment. I'd like to do that more. I think last time we rambled on for a while, so let's kind of bring people in. We got Torque Penderloin, my buddy from Vegas, sporting his Steve Nash Point God avatar. Torque, how you doing, my friend? You think you could unmute yourself? How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. I appreciate you giving me a second in the floor. It's nice to see all you guys. A couple things regarding the WNBA thing. I had a question, and just listening to you guys chat, because I know that there's basically equal revenue sharing amongst the players based on Top Shot sales and things like that. I would hope that, being the forward-thinking company that Top Shot is, or the NBA is in this case, or WNBA, that revenue sharing regarding salaries for WNBA players and how significantly less they are than male NBA players, unfortunately, would be the same revenue sharing that an NBA player gets when a moment's sold or whatever the case may be. My question is, and that's more for the abstract, my question for you is, I read in the blog that there are going to be the A'ja Wilson moments airdropped in for new users. I didn't really understand what parameters they were. Clearly, I'm not going to qualify for that, but we met in Vegas. That's when my dad signed up for his Top Shot account. And so I'm constantly having him check to see, because I think there's 2 queues tomorrow. If there's a priority queue, and if you have the A'ja Wilson moment, from what I understand, you're basically guaranteed a pack. Otherwise, it's 50,000 packs for the general queue. Once again, thanks for letting me speak. Pleasure to meet you in Vegas, dude, and hopefully I get to meet you again.
Yeah, man, and happy belated 40th. So my understanding of that blog post is that between today and the Friday pack drop, the first 10,000 new accounts that sign up will get that A'ja Wilson moment for free, airdrop to their account. And anyone who owns that moment, whether they get it airdropped or buy it on the marketplace from someone that lists it and resells it, will be guaranteed a spot in the queue. So if someone gets that airdrop moment, decides to sell it for however much they sell it for, and you buy it, it's my understanding that you're guaranteed a spot in the queue as a result. But they're basically saying, hey, the first 10,000 people that create an account over the next 48 hours get that moment and get a guaranteed $9 pack of the WNBA. And that's the first WNBA moments to ever exist. I believe there's 24 or 25 moments. They're all common. Shout out to Brandon from Moment Ranks, who dropped a spreadsheet with all of the moments that are going to be listed. The Moment Ranks guys have a show at 9 o'clock tonight with Jacob Eisenberg, who might have some more intel on everything going on. So I highly recommend that if you have the appetite for more Top Shot talk, as soon as this ends, you go over there. They're great. We were hanging out with them in Vegas the whole time. Really good crew. But yeah, I think that's the case. So I don't know if your dad's account will technically qualify. I think it's technically people who create a new account over the next 48 hours.
Right on, man. No, my dad will be fine. He's not, we got his RJ Hampton moment sold, and he was actually shocked at. He's like, "Wait, this can happen this quickly?" I was like, "Yeah, I've been trying to warn you about this, but it's good times, man. I'm just stoked that for me, I'm thinking running back moments of Tisha Pinachero, Becky Hammon moments. I mean, there's some really really awesome. Historical WNBA moments like the Liberty the Comets final back way back in the day where the girl I want to say it was Teresa Witherspoon hit a half court shot at the buzzer to force a game 5. They were about to lose. I mean, but once again, what Top Shot's been doing between Vegas with the fandom set and now the WNBA set, I mean, I expected a lull and then a boom. I didn't expect the boom to come this quick, but I mean, could you only imagine, and I know what Top Shot has in store for the start of the season. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, and Mustafa from Top Shot Community is listening in. He confirmed that the first 10,000 people between the announcement this morning and Friday get access to that priority queue with a guaranteed pack, and then everything else goes to the general queue. So hopefully an influx of new users, hopefully an influx of new WNBA fans joining the NFT community, learning about this great new world, hopefully having the experience that we all had where we found Top Shot, fell in love, spent a lot of time in this community, and then also discovered a lot of other really cool NFTs with a lot of interesting communities behind that too. And just, I think we're all better off with NFTs in our lives than we were before it. Eric, how you doing? What's going on tonight, man?
Hey, guys. Glad to talk to you guys about Top Shot and everything that's been going on. The green numbers every day are nice to see, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, listen.
Gotta love it.
At the lowest, I'll be completely frank. My account was probably down 10 or 15K. I don't really worry too much about that because I'm in this for the long haul. I've never made a withdrawal, and I know that that's just a reflection of the marketplace sentiment. My account today is up to $23,000, and that's absurd to me. I mean, it's great. I'm thrilled. I hope if it keeps going up, that's even better. But quite the turnaround, to say the least.
Oh, goodness, yes. And just another thing about the WNBA, I just wanted to go back to that for a second, is that it can be a higher percentage of their revenue. Like you guys were kind of saying, that if they can make $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 here, it's a much bigger deal than it is for some of these NBA guys. Especially, I bet you a lot of WNBA players, if they're with the community, are going to get gifted moments, WNBA moments, and regular NBA moments to interact with the community, and it actually will make a difference, especially in the average or lower salaried WNBA player's life. So I'm looking forward to seeing a good amount of that.
100%. Top Shot Fund. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, it'll definitely make a difference for everyone. I think everyone's excited about it. And kind of back to your point about the account values going up, I think I saw a double-digit increase today at 8%, or a double-digit increase yesterday, 8% today. So we're coming out of it slowly but surely. I think it's all much healthier growth than perhaps January and February was.
Yeah, I think it's like accidental versus intentional growth. And with the WNBA, like to your point, it's all about like trading volume essentially, right? In terms of every transaction, a piece of that goes to the league. And listen, I think it's safe to say that not everyone that collects Top Shot moments is a huge NBA fan or even an NBA fan at all, but Top Shot made them care about the NBA more, and there's a very good possibility that just exposure to the WNBA through the Top Shot marketplace and ecosystem won't just grow the WNBA fan base in a sense, but also just help those athletes make more money in the plainest sense, whether it's directly through the cut of the marketplace transactions that they're getting that they never had before. It's very possible that like this Top Shot relationship is the most lucrative brand or sponsor or partner deal that they have as a organization for everyone involved. And just in general, the brand presence, I think that it goes without saying that you have all these players now that are involved in Top Shot, working with them and building their own brand around NFTs. And that opportunity exists for Sabrina and for Lisa and for Asia and for, Elena Delle Donne. All these women now have a brand new platform to grow their audience and to meet new people that are interested in growing with them.
It sounds like it's just, and there's a lot of things that we're not even thinking of, but it sounds just so positive for that league and for Top Shot as a whole. I'm really looking forward to what they do. And things like fan experiences or opportunities will be a lot cheaper and easier to do. The WNBA, I'm excited to see like they can kind of get experimental with that, whether it's courtside tickets or in a suite or things like that they can kind of experiment, see what people like, don't like for a lot lower dollar amount. And I bet you it's going to bring a lot more fans to the WNBA as well. Like even like you said, casually or someone who doesn't care at all to a casual, or a casual to being super interested in following and like moments going up and down during big games, or who's going to get the championship badge. Things like that are going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah, and I think someone cynically like responded to a tweet that this is like, oh, the NBA is trying to help the WNBA or whatever, kind of trying to be like, well, this is better for the WNBA than anything else. Okay, that's great. Like, we're in the heart of the WNBA season right now. The WNBA social media accounts, like, actively amplified and co-announced this happening with Top Shot, which is something the NBA never did. So if we're going to get all of the marketing power and support of the WNBA for the rest of the season to promote Top Shot and to build this kind of extension of the Top Shot brand, that's super exciting. And you know what? It's more exciting than a bunch of Russian programmers making female avatars for us to buy for like 0.088, right? Like this is the real deal.
Yeah, this is it, as they say. And it's just a little tune to see what we're going to see from the NBA when we're out of beta. You said like the WNBA launching. Sorry, I don't want to take over the space too much. I feel like I'm talking a little too much.
No, you're fine.
The speaker, but
No, you're good.
A little taste of like when the NBA is co-announcing these things, and the NBA is tweeting about it actively, and the NBA is giving their full force when Top Shot is out of beta. Maybe that's at the beginning of this upcoming season, but gives a little taste of what's going to happen there and just how big that will be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that for a long time people joked, like when marketing, right? And they were like waiting for this magical thing to happen that would increase demand, increase accounts, and revive their account values. And the real way to think about it is, well, it's not about when Top Shot is going to market Top Shot. It's about when the NBA or now the WNBA is going to market Top Shot. And, we saw the Orlando Magic use the Top Shot Cube to, do their schedule, and they use Top Shot packs to spotlight specific games that they're really looking forward to. So I think that Top Shot is becoming more and more ingrained in the digital brand and ecosystem of the WNBA and now NBA and WNBA now, and that is more powerful than any marketing Top Shot could do on its own, because that is the brand association, the increased audience, the word of mouth. It's just really it's really promising. I think that all of these things that have been happening slowly but surely in the offseason have boosted user confidence to the point that new users and existing users feel really comfortable reinvesting in the platform, which is obviously driving everyone's account value up. So it's a fun time to be in Top Shot, that's for sure.
Was it you, Packrip, that posted the other day the amount of unique Knicks team holders? Was it like 52 total team holders of the whole set? That got me thinking. Granted, I know I posted about this, but I'm a Mavericks fan. I'm from the DFW area, but I live in Denver, and I have since completed the Denver team set, because what better word of mouth marketing is there than, hey, why is this guy getting special treatment? I do think that in arena perks are going to be very prominent. Mr. Space Cowboy over here kind of set the bar for being in a moment, right? And I can only tell you, granted, you can't see me. I know where I was sitting, and I know the IQ moment flashes by where we were all sitting in that little section. But being at a game and knowing that you can get a moment from that game, and whether or not it's based on collector score or maybe you have access to rare moments or whatever the case may be, but knowing that I have a moment from not just my birthday, the Bowl moment, which is sentimentally valuable to me, but being at a game and having the immense moment from a game I was at, that's just next level. As far as from a collector standpoint.
Yeah, and I'm very bullish on those in-arena experiences, not just creating really cool memories and souvenirs for existing collectors, but also being a really powerful onboarding tool for new collectors. While we're doing this, Evaluate Market, our good friends at Evaluate Market, just tweeted that the NBA Top Shot market cap just crossed $1 billion, probably for the first time in a long time. Top Shot Fund. I know you're more of a numbers guy than I am. How does that make you feel? Do you remember the last time it was that high?
I think I remember the highest it ever got was 1.7 or 1.6, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Probably in March.
Late February, early March. But I guess the $1 billion threshold is a marquee number. That's exciting to hear it's back, and more exciting is we've talked about is the consistent different steps that have been taken to shore up the community. I tweeted the other day about the collector score as one huge element. The team sets, we were just hitting on that. It creates a natural floor. It's and I think we're in a much more mature and stable position than we were back, obviously, earlier when we were above $1 billion before. Another thing to note on that is the average dollar value per moment will be a lot lower because there's a lot more supply for that billion. So that's just something, kind of the other side of the coin to keep in mind. It's there's been a lot more moments added to the platform since February and March, which is a good thing, but just, something to be aware of and keep in mind that the average dollar value per moment has still probably got a long way to go.
Yeah, that market cap is based on 543,000 active collectors, which is still
the last thing I'll say
ton.
Real quick. Mr. Austin Kent, who I had the pleasure of meeting out in Vegas as well, and for y'all who aren't familiar, apparently he's the guy who, and I'm sure there are other folks involved, but he's the main guy selecting the moments, right? And he recently posted about the WNBA and hey, do you guys have any questions? And of course, I was like, hey, do you guys have any future run it back WNBA packs on tap? Me personally, Tisha Pinachero, her game was so nice. And he said, definitely, I can't have a 25th anniversary season without something classic in the works.
And that's what's really exciting, Torque. We're looking at the 25th anniversary of the WNBA this upcoming season, and the 75th anniversary of the NBA. So, those two milestones combined with this new digital metric of fandom and everything else that Top Shot unlocks for the WNBA and NBA from a digital perspective and from a analytics perspective. Listen, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Obviously, it's no secret that I'm bullish and optimistic about the future of Top Shot. Anyone that has followed me on Twitter or read anything I've written will know that. But Series 3 is going to be awesome. Like, let's be real. This is really exciting stuff. It's very fun. I'm glad we're all here together, and I think that when that starts in October and November, shit's going to get really interesting, to put it lightly.
Can't wait.
Anyone else in the crowd have anything on their mind? Wow, shy group tonight, Top Shot.
Come on, guys. Somebody jump in there.
Very shy group. We can help keep the conversation going, but I do want some new people to jump in and I can listen.
We've got some new blood. We've got people.
I'd love to help contribute, but I got a Lebowski this shit. I got to be like, fuck it. I got to go bowling. I got my bowling league in 10 minutes. So, bro, y'all legit have a great night. It's a pleasure talking with y'all. I can't wait to interact with y'all in the future, and let's get it.
Let's get it.
Get a 300 for us.
Shoot, photos are going up everywhere if that happens.
Can I ask a selfish question until somebody else comes in? Just about my portfolio is basically all tied into one moment. But your thoughts on that and how I can or should diversify if there'll be ways to fractionalize a moment in the future, and what you think about someone like me that has probably in a pretty rare scenario with my entire account value in one moment.
Is it the LeBron James Kobe tribute throwdown?
It's the jersey match, yeah.
Wow. I mean,
It's number 23.
Yeah.
When did you get that? That's awesome.
A while back, yeah. It's obviously my favorite moment for many reasons. Different things about Kobe in my life that are pretty crazy. And obviously LeBron and being from LA, so it's definitely important to me.
I mean, congratulations. That's a nice situation to be in. That's not the one moment you own, is it? It's just the most prominent part of your portfolio.
I mean, it's not the one moment I own. I own like 100, but it's my fifth highest moment is a Giannis. Fifth highest moment, ranked thing is a Giannis worth $74.
Okay.
So that's number 5.
Yeah.
So it's a unique situation. We don't have to talk about this. I'd love someone else to jump in, but it was kind of a low. Selfishly wondering what you guys think about something like that.
I mean, listen, if that were ever able to go on fractional, I would definitely buy a share of that. I think that that's a nice situation to be in. My personal philosophy the past 3 or 4 weeks, and I haven't been shy about this or keeping it a secret, and we have Adam and Jess on the line. We'll loop them in next. Adam himself made a very signature purchase today, which is not necessarily on par with the jersey match LeBron throwdown, but pretty significant. I have been consolidating my portfolio. I've basically sold every single one of my commons, aside from a few playoff moments that I like, the Vince Carter and just Knicks Series 1 and Series 2, so I have the complete team set. And I have reallocated all of that into rare and legendary exclusively. I would rather have fewer moments that are really, really valuable and protected and coveted, and have that upside. I think that, with the limited supply of a rare or legendary moment, you have a more sophisticated collector or investor, and you also have better protection in a, if we ever were to, I don't think we'll ever experience a dip like we experienced before, but I think that if anything were to ever happen, those moments are typically safe. So I think you're in a great position. I think a lot of people would envy to be in that position. I don't know, I'd personally buy a share if I could, but that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you for sure, and it's cool that you said that, because I would like to do something like that one day, because it's hard seeing all these other moments I'd like to get, but I just don't have the ability, don't have unlimited money to be able to get them. Obviously I have the account value where I hypothetically could, so it's a little, I guess it's less fun. Maybe it's more profitable, but it's less fun being in this position, because it's just the moment you have, and you have to see everything else kind of pass you by.
Yeah.
That you be in on. I don't know. This is pretty selfish to talk about. Like,
Invest more, Eric. Come on, man. Open up that wallet. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, bust out the credit cards. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Goodness gracious, but yeah, I wonder if do you think Top Shot will ever do something where you can fractionalize it? Because obviously you can't do something like fractional because of the way it's set up on Flow.
I think Roham has mentioned, and Top Shot Fund, I feel like you're more technically savvy about this stuff than I am. The ability, whether it's custodial or non-custodial, right now Top Shot is in one of those formats, and the other format will be available in the future, so you could essentially take the moment off platform and have more freedom and flexibility to do with it. Obviously, things like Floaty have been created by MBL and Arsonic. Obviously, Fractional's out there. So I do think that it will be available in the future. I don't know when, but I think it'll happen.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to add, but I know that Andy has alluded to Flow support eventually on Fractional. But, I mean, that could be years away, or I just have no idea about the technical aspect. But definitely at some point.
I'll trade it for your Space Cowboy.
Oh, wow.
That's quite the offer. Now I'm going to have to... No, I can't take that offer, unfortunately.
I didn't think so. I did not think so.
But I know we've chatted before, Eric. I didn't realize that was you with your new avatar there. I love the moment avatars. How that tool that was created is just amazing.
Yeah, I do wish, again, this is super selfish, I wish there was a way to more prominently put your serial number, whether it's a jersey match number 1, a 69, a 420, whatever. So that's one small issue I have with it, but yeah, I think it looks really nice.
Well, Eric, we'll be here whenever that happens, and when it does happen, you could count on me buying a share of that. Adam, I know what you're going to talk about, buddy. So let's loop in Butterhoops, one of my NFT besties. How you doing?
Hey, Backrip, thanks so much for having me up here. I wanted to start off by thanking you and Space Cowboy for hosting this show, and I wanted to say when season rolls around, we might need this to be twice a week because I'm having so much fun already.
Hey, I've got nothing but time. I mean, this is work for me, right? It's the Top Shot Fund. I don't know what your schedule looks like, but we could probably do this more often.
Yeah, this is awesome. I just had a couple things I wanted to mention that I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to challenges and showcase quests that involve both WNBA and NBA moments.
Oh.
And another thing I'm really looking forward to is maybe they kind of help the other side of things and help boost WNBA viewership by having us, claim moments during the game, maybe when they happen or right after a commercial using QR code. So I think this will be a big boost for both ends of the spectrum. I'm really looking forward to pretty much this whole season. Do you think, is everything going to be Series 2 for these WNBA moments, or will they have their own series number?
I think this is technically the summer, like the same tier as the fandom moments.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I think it's actually interesting. I believe that's where they're falling into. I'm not 100% sure, but the other interesting aspect of this is that there's now really like never going to be an off season because the WNBA season is essentially the playoffs into the off season. So it's now Top Shot is like a 12-month sport.
Yeah, this is exciting. I actually didn't think of that the seasons and the off seasons kind of overlap each other. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to thank you so much for hosting this space. I'm going to pass it off to Adam because I know he's really excited about his new purchase today. So I want to let him talk about it a little bit. But have a good evening, guys, and thank you so much.
Yeah, and I love the idea of like
Thanks,
WNBA and NBA combined challenges or quests. That's super exciting. If you can combine Sabrina and Kyrie, guards across both leagues, there's just unlimited possibility. I think one thing that has become abundantly clear to me is never underestimate Dapper, and that whatever we think is possible, they're already 1 or 2 steps ahead. So I'm really excited for what the future holds. I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff at play and a lot of ways to merge these two leagues and the moments together. I think they will very intentionally. Even today, you saw in the nav when you're filtering, it has NBA, WNBA both. So they are already thinking about merging these things in the marketplace very seamlessly in a cool way. I'm pumped. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a boost at like attendance at WNBA games as well. So buy up those tickets while you can before they get expensive, because people will be buying them up to get those fandom moments that you can only get at the games, right, guys?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, if the ROI on fandom moments is going to be like that every time, there are going to be a lot more people at WNBA games, that's for sure. For the right reasons or not, it'll definitely boost attendance. Fish, my man. What'd you do today? Anything special?
Nah, man. It was just another day in the market, you know? Little buying, little selling.
I heard you you set off a bot or two, maybe.
You know, I did set off some bots, yes.
Yo!
Do you want to tell everyone that doesn't know what's going on what you did?
Yeah, so in case we're not being cagey, we're just shitting the shit. In case anyone did not see, so I purchased a Kevin Durant Run It Back Top Shot debut today, which was a pricey moment. Is it the most expensive? It's probably not the most expensive rare. I think probably the LeBron debut, the rare version of the LeBron debut is higher, but it's one of the most expensive rares on the platform. It was a...
It is officially the most expensive rare on the platform.
Oh, there you go.
Because of you smashing the floor, it's now at a 37,000 low ask. So it beats the LeBron Top Shot debut MGLE by $4,000 and the LeBron Throwdown by $15,000. So you officially own the most expensive as well as the rarest Top Shot debut in existence.
There you go. And I will plug my article on packertmedia.com today about it. I wrote a little thing because I was feeling the adrenaline after my purchase and seeing everyone celebrate it and being invited into the Top Shot Seals KD Run It Back Discord channel. Everyone was very welcoming, so I wrote a bit about just my excitement around it and why. I mean, it was basically, it's more or less, it doubled my initial investment into Top Shot that moment, because I put in somewhere around 25 before, so it was obviously a big investment for me.
Does your wife know you did that?
She does not.
Will you tell her?
I'll probably. I don't think she will care.
Okay.
I think I've talked to her enough about the apes and where their floor is at that I don't think she wants to hear about it anymore. But that's my excuse in case this goes wrong. At least I still have my ape.
Perfect.
But as I wrote, I think it's, first of all, it's just a great moment. It's Kevin Durant, one of the 5 greatest scorers in the history of the league, rising up for a dagger 3, a game winner against my beloved Raptors, unfortunately, but nevertheless, and it's a classic KD moment
to get 51 points, no less, like in overtime, in double overtime.
To get 51 points, double overtime, and it's 7-foot Kevin Durant just rising up over his defender and nailing it, as he tends to do. And it's his only Series 1 moment. There's only 209 of them because it was a challenge reward for Run It Back. And you got one of the 15 or maybe 20, if you're not feeling so generous, greatest players of all time. Putting aside legends that might have moments, but in terms of guys that have been in the league since Top Shot actually launched, he's number 2, number 3.
He's better than LeBron.
Sorry?
He's better than LeBron.
I mean,
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
right now, at this point in their careers, What are we talking about here?
I'm talking about in general. Kevin Durant's a better basketball player than LeBron James. But we could save that for.
Oof. Okay, that's a whole other can of worms. Wow. Okay,
I rattled you to your core. Now here's a question I have for you. So I have two questions for you. One, like, what gave you the confidence to like pull the trigger on that move? I presume you paid an ETH from profits from other NFTs. I would have to imagine that was the most logical way for you to make that purchase. But
Correct.
you're the big fundamental one. Like, why not buy Tim Duncan first? Like, you don't have Tim Duncan yet.
You're right. And Tim Duncan is my dream moment. And honestly, I didn't buy it because it was a 4,500. I was about a week and a half ago. I was planning on buying it, and I was going to buy it the next day. And Vivek bought 3 overnight and smashed the floor up $1,000, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. That was really it. Maybe there will come a time that I will buy Tim Duncan. That is still my dream moment, but I couldn't bring myself to 12 hours later spend an extra 25% just because Vivek had to buy 3 more of them because he's that greedy.
That's just who he is. He's a very greedy man.
That's it.
And he's not even here, for the record, which is just rude. Like,
we're taking shots and he's not even here.
That's 2 weeks in a row Vivek blew off our Twitter Spaces, which is just very disrespectful.
But that's why my initial plan, as I saw the market rising, I've had a window open on my computer for the last probably 4 months with run it back moments from Chris Bosh, Kevin Durant, Dirk, Duncan, Garnett, because I owned the Chris Bosh until recently, but those are all, some of my favorites, obviously some of the best players of all time, and all guys that I thought were great kind of long-term investments, presuming, if you want to be invested on Top Shot for the long term.
Yeah.
And just sort of watching all their prices move, and, some would sort of fall, get disconnected from others and be overpriced relative to the others. Obviously, these are all illiquid. They don't trade very often, so you'll have a floor that's too low relative to the others for a little while. And, we've all seen the market recovering the last couple months, and my account was getting closer and closer to green, and so I knew I wanted to start purchasing again, and decide maybe I'll regret not buying Duncan, because I would love to have it. I love that his only moment is like a totally boring right-handed layup from the left side.
It is the purest encapsulation of Tim Duncan's entire basketball brand ever. It's just this very slow-moving, casual fake, and a little arm here, and a twist here, and bank shot. It's just Tim Duncan in a nutshell.
I have to say, I was a little surprised that they didn't make it a bank shot, like a 15-footer from the left side, that classic Timmy jump shot, because that's really his signature. But I do love the boring layup too.
Now you brought up, you said something that I don't want to like harp on and maybe like harsh your vibe at all, but you said Tim Duncan's only moment, and I think that it's kind of been made clear one way or another that a lot of these marquee players over time, I know that when you buy Kevin Durant, Adam, you are thinking about this as like, I'm going to hold this for the next decade, and this is an investment that's going to appreciate in value significantly, and in 2030, it's going to pay for my kids' college or whatever, pay for their wedding, whatever the case might be. It's clear that there will be more Kevin Durant and Tim Duncan run it back moments at some point in Top Shot. Probably not this year, but maybe in a year or two. Are you at all nervous or the debut is still the debut, of course. It's still going to be the rarest Kevin Durant, well, the legendary exists, but you know what I mean. Like, are you nervous about the
Sure.
the looming presence of another Kevin Durant run it back moment coming into the fold?
Yeah, I considered it, and it was something that was on my mind when I was debating the purchase. But ultimately, I mean, that moment doesn't have value because it's a run it back, right? I mean, it's cool. It's his only OKC moment, but it doesn't have value because it happens to be in the run it back set. It has value because it's a rare Kevin Durant and it's his debut, right? The debut is what gives it, I think, far and away the most value. If you were to sort of allocate what is it that makes up the value of that Kevin Durant moment compared to, a 10,000 circulation Kevin Durant Series 2 base, let's
Sure.
say that's whatever it is, $100. Why is this $30,000 and that one's $100? Part of it is, I would say a good chunk of that is that it's rare. Obviously that adds value. A piece of it is that it's run it back as opposed to it being another rare set. But for me, it's the overwhelming majority is this circulation, like that there's only 209, and the biggest is the Top Shot debut. Like I think if it was an MGLE instead of a run it back, I think it would be worth the same amount.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to sneak in a question here really quick. Do we know exactly why there's a cutoff year on run it backs? I'm sure some of you already know, but since I don't, I'm sure a lot of us don't have the same answer here. But do we know why? I think 2014 is the earliest we've gone back on run it backs, right?
Well, we've only gotten the one run it back drop.
Right.
I think they picked
It was all from the same season.
Yeah.
The run it back is all, each run it back series, I assume if they do it the same as they did before, it will be all the moments in a given run it back series will be from the same season.
Yeah, and the way I understand Run It Back from how they've described it is that their intention with the set is to basically tell the story of that NBA season through those moments. Obviously, Adam, why they have, Manu, Tim, and Tony with their championship badges there. A very proud year for the Spurs.
Yeah.
So I think that's the next question, right? That's what everyone is wondering. What is the next year that Run It Back will be? We heard rumors in like March and April that, we're going to get Shaq and Allen Iverson. So people were like, is it going to be, the year that the Lakers played the Sixers in the finals? Obviously, that would make a lot of sense. That's the year of the step over. I think they've since like decommitted from that being the next Run It Back drop, but still promising that would happen at some point. So I think that's the only year because there's only been one Run It Back drop. But this year, presumably in the next few weeks, I mean, we're all anxiously waiting. I think, Summer League ended. I was like, something's going to happen tomorrow. I thought it would be Run It Back. Instead, it was WNBA. Very exciting nonetheless. But we're waiting to find out, like, what is the year going to be? Like, which players are going to be in this? We don't know yet, but I think that's why it just so happened to be that the Run It Back set every time is dedicated to a specific season.
Exactly. That's why I wonder if we could end up just seeing them move forward from 2014 because, I mean, this is purely speculation because that was the first year that these kinds of things like this sharing of the funds of these assets and allocation was baked into these contracts, but maybe I'm completely overlooking and just being, a little picky about it.
I do think there is some. I think it is somewhat more complicated, I believe, and Pac, maybe I'm wrong, but I think to get older players that are no longer in the NBA PA, I think has some additional complication. I think they have to maybe get some separate releases from them. I'm not sure. Do you know?
Yeah. So again, pure speculation and just like cobbling together information. It's harder for them if the player is retired or not part of the NBA PA because it's like a separate agreement that they would have to sign, so they don't necessarily have the rights to those players' highlights. As much as everyone would love to have Kobe, like I think that the fact that he is unfortunately not with us anymore will complicate things with getting rights from his estate to have those moments. I personally don't think we'll ever have Kobe on Top Shot. I think it's more likely we'd have Michael Jordan. But I think that the two big factors are the rights of the players and negotiating those rights for players that are no longer part of the NBAPA. And then, like, I mean, footage from 2001 was not in high definition 1080p. Like, what are those moments going to look like? How do they maintain the production value and the quality that we've grown accustomed to, or make them look cool in their own sense from a design perspective when we're just dealing with like standard definition footage? I don't know the answer to that, but that's, I mean, like, obviously we all, I'd love Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, the 90s NBA era would be epic, but like, how do they make that look good, right? I don't know the answer.
Yeah, and speaking of how the moments are... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say another aspect with Run It Back. Did they mention that there's going to be common Run It Backs too, and maybe legendary as well? Like, or will Run It Back always be in the rare tier?
This is a controversial topic. This is something that I think, brought to light from an office hours that I heard, and then I wrote a blog post, and it started this big conversation with Roham and Jacob. And again, this is me interpreting what they said. There's been no official blog post or anything yet to announce this. The way I understand it, as a Run It Back historian, is that Run It Back is Run It Back, and Run It Back will always be rare. But Run It Back will not exclusively be the only set to feature historical moments, and that we might see other sets in the future that might be common or legendary to feature moments from history, and that they won't be called Run It Back, but they will have players that are retired or no longer in the league on Top Shot, and they could be players that already exist. So there might be a common historical moment of Dirk or Kevin Durant in 3 years. I don't know, but like, it's possible that'll exist. Run It Back is rare, and Run It Back is Run It Back, but historical moments seem to be on the horizon.
Maybe there'll be a common series called like Throwback or something.
Yes, I agree, because I think just the name and just the like connotation of the phrase "run it back" means we're not going back. It's more like we're running back the whole season. Just like Pat Grip said, that they're kind of like a summary or like a glimpse of that whole season. It's more of like they'll probably just be like a blurb of the entire season in one set.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an important thing to note.
Like, I think it would be really cool. This is something I've thought a lot about, probably more than I should be thinking about it. Like, I'd love to see Run It Back, the concept of historical players, crossed with existing sets. So, like, what about a common throwdowns of, like, past dunk contests? And if you have, like, all these guys from the dunk contest in the early 2000s and mid-2000s, moments from that as throwdowns, but with historical players. Or, I'd love to see them have hybrid sets, basically. Hustle and Flow, but from the 90s, or Hustle and Show from the 90s. That was like, 90s era was Hustle and Show. So, like, what does it look like when they take older players and throw them in the existing kind of construct of sets that we know, and if those are legendary, if those are common? I think the core thing is that there's only so many moments they could mint of existing players before they oversaturate their kind of inventory, regardless of how big the demand might be. And it's obvious that there's this untapped potential for older players that are not around anymore to become part of Top Shot and become a really exciting thing to collect. But they don't want to be prohibitively expensive for everyone, because they've made a conscious choice strategically to, if you want a LeBron, you can get a LeBron for $20 right now, right? Or a LaMelo or whatever. Like, you don't have to drop $1,000, because they want to be considerate of every collector. And I think however they do it, I trust them, considering how do we make historical players available for every collector in a way that makes it fun if you're not rich. And that's fair.
Totally. Should we go to Sean? Sean, I brought you up. You got a question?
Yeah, thanks, guys. So I've loved this conversation around Run It Back. I find it to be, like, without a doubt, the most fascinating series in
my favorite set.
Top Shots.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just for its uniqueness, but like when we were in March and we kind of all saw the writing on the wall that we might be going into a bear market here. I thought to myself, like, what are the different moments that I don't care if they necessarily go down in value because I'm never going to buy something at the exact bottom, but that I know I'm going to hold for the long run. And when I look at the Run It Back series, I think about what Dapper has basically been telling us, in that they're looking to basically create collectors, right? You want to support your team. You want to collect all the moments for your team. So they're pretty much hinting that owning a team set, whether it's Series 1, Series 2, or both, is going to have some sort of value and potentially, obviously, some sort of utility. So in my mind, when I'm looking through the marketplace and I'm buying, a Dirk or a Manu or a Bosch or even somebody like a Michael Carter-Williams, I don't necessarily worry that there's going to be another Dirk one day. Because what I think to myself is that this is the only Dirk. Not only is it the Top Shot debut and it's an absolutely sick moment, but it's the only Dirk in Season 1 or in Series 1. So there's only going to be an absolute maximum, and this is assuming that there's no collectors with duplicates. There's only going to be a maximum of 275 collectors that can have the entire match set. And then when you think of other Run It Back people, like, let's look at the Heat. They've got 3 different guys, Haslam, Bosch, and Ray Allen. The odds of somebody being able to get all 3 is extremely rare, right? So you just got to think to yourself, like, what is the upside of me owning this moment? Like, why would this have value over time, even if they add more Chris Bosches, more Haslams? So I've just always found the team set collector aspect, and they've been very quiet about it, right? Like they've told us, or they've showed that, you get a bump in collector score, but what does that really mean, right? Why do I care if I get 50% more points for these common and rare moments? So I think there's something coming down the road, and that's kind of what's put my mind at ease as I've been buying to the bottom, basically. Like, since April, I've just been consistently buying. Sometimes I make a great buy, sometimes I don't, but I know I'm not getting rid of that moment. So just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, my first thought is that you're more rational than most people on Twitter. For starters, I also love and own the Dirk moment. It is my favorite moment. When I joined Top Shot in February, that was my holy grail moment. And I got to buy that. And I was, it was probably the peak or one of the peaks of my Top Shot collecting experience. I agree with you. Like there can only ever be so many people that have a complete Series 1 set of a specific team because of Run It Back. And even if they alleviate that perceived bottleneck in Series 3 or Series 4, you can only ever have that complete Series 1 set, and that's special. And I was surprised when I looked at the Knicks data to see that there are only 52 or 53 complete Knicks set owners. I thought it would be higher, given... obviously Carmelo and Amare are expensive to acquire, but I thought the number would be higher. Top Shot Fund. I know you've been strategically buying some of this stuff to complete team sets recently. Yep. How do you feel about it?
I feel good. I like you. I have a lot of trust in the team at Dapper, and whether it's airdrops or in real life experiences, I think team sets are meant to be limited, and so Run It Back is obviously a bottleneck across a lot of teams. Especially, you mentioned Miami has 3, Brooklyn has 3. That's next on my radar. I just got the Brook Lopez, and now I need to get the Kevin Garnett and the Paul Pierce. So, we'll see when I can make that happen. But team sets are a great concept, and I'm excited about the future and whatever it exactly holds. Who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of Brook Lopez, I literally just bought that. I think it was about 5 or 6 days ago. Was it at a price that, like, I'm really happy with? Not necessarily. Like, I know I could have gotten this cheaper, a month ago or something. But now that I already had the Garnett and I have the Pierce, I just had to think to myself, this is the only piece I'm missing to be able to be a part of potentially one of 275 collectors. So, like, at the end of the day, am I going to sweat overpaying for a moment? Probably not. Like, it's again, not a Brook Lopez fan. The moment's not even that cool. I don't even think it's his Top Shot debut.
It's not.
But Yeah, so like, but this is the final piece I need. And if Roham's going to continue to push the fact that they're not necessarily building this platform for people to flip and make money and whatnot, they're trying to build collectors. I'm trying to read through the fog here and think that this is kind of what he's trying to do. Show your fandom and show your support, and this is how you do it. Whether it was intentional or not for them to have these type of bottlenecks, who knows? But it is what it is. You got to kind of bite the bullet if you really want to accomplish some of these challenges and just see where it takes you, I guess.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, Brook Lopez is the next all-time leading scorer. So,
Exactly, right?
He's pretty good. I think Brook Lopez is probably a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done.
Yeah. And then, I think that's badges too, which is cool. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that's going to be something that the Top Shot team is going to strike a balance with going forward, right? Is how much do they emphasize having to collect the full set of every player in every season versus just the full team set, which down the road will become a lot easier to collect as, there's more Dirk moments, there's more Tim moments, there's more Garnett moments, there's more of all these guys. I would suspect that, 3 or 4 years from now, I don't think they're going to want to have too many benefits that only 275 people can avail themselves of or less. There may be some, but I'm also expecting that they'll want to have a lot of benefits that you don't need to be one of those 275 to enjoy. You can just be someone who's collected all the players, and it'll still be open to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've thought about that too, in a sense that, like, maybe the benefits aren't going to be something like how he treats a challenge, right? Like, if you collect these 15 moments or whatever it is, you get airdropped one of these moments. I almost wonder, is he going to utilize the tiered queue system in some fashion to say, if you have a team set, it's kind of like, you have the entire Cool Cat set. Like, you're going to be automatically qualified to be in these queues, in the priority queue or something. So I think that's going to maybe be one of the ways that they deal with just the amount of demand. So, prove you're a real collector and you will be rewarded by having a better chance than the people that are just flipping. Something along that mindset is kind of what I'm thinking in the back of my mind.
What's really cool about the WNBA moments coming out is that they kind of have a blank slate to start new with these scarcity mechanics and use the things that they improved and learned on from the NBA moments, and it'll be kind of like a cool system that they develop from here on.
Completely. I think that their intention, in my eyes, is to reward every level of collector with some form of valuable utility, and that utility will scale to obviously, having one set complete, to having the full team complete, but nobody will get left behind, because I think they want to make everyone feel like they're valued, regardless of how much they spend. And I think that, that's largely behind the run that we're on right now. And I think the genuine and general stability we're experiencing, it's that people start to see the vision and they believe, right? Like, I think that LaMelo airdrop MJLE moment, draft experience, Vegas experience, all these forms of utility, because the magic word in NFTs, they talk about, and then Cool Cats obviously becoming the real thing, the Nine Lives Lounge. They could talk about these things for months, and we could listen to them and be like, okay, cool. And then they actually do it, and everyone goes nuts and starts buying. They've been talking about this stuff for months. They mentioned the WNBA months ago, I think, for the first time. So I think it's one of those things where people just wait for the formal signal that it's real. But now there's been enough confidence, I think, built up by the community, by the recent off-season events, that everyone's preparing for Series 3 and for this actualization of utility and collecting and collector score and team sets and all that stuff to come to fruition. I think it will. It's going to be super fun. I want to be conscious of the time. It's 9:05 on the East Coast. I think we'll wrap things up here. Top Shot Fun, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, just another second great space. I'm excited for next week. Talk more Top Shot.
Thank you all for joining us. We will be here again
thanks, everyone.
next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Who knows what will happen between now and then? We'll have WNBA moments on the marketplace in our accounts. We'll have some pack drops, and who knows what else? Maybe rake back, maybe run it back. At this point, it's impossible to predict, but I look forward to chatting with you all about it then. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I'll see you on Twitter.
Thanks, guys. Take care now.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for hosting, friends.
Yep.